Hello, this video is going to be a quick check-in, say hello, pick a lock. I'll also show you another project I've been obsessing with recently that is not lock sport related, but has been taking up my time. Work's been really busy the past few weeks. Some family are out of town, so I'm doing different stuff around the house. And I've been working on this other project that's not lock sport related. So between all those, I have been very unengaged lately from like Locksport and Locksport Online. I haven't been picking locks, but it wasn't that long ago I met up with Jack Fox, and he gave me a whole bunch of really cool locks, and I hadn't done any video on it, and I felt bad, and I wanted to make sure I get a video in there. Whole bunch of really cool locks. This is the one I want to pick on the video today. This is a USPS Lock. When we met up, I was giving him the rotary one, the counter lock. And so I figured it would be appropriate to pick this guy. But yeah, he also gave me these cool poker chips and the card, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you. There's a whole bunch of cool locks I'm going to have to do videos on here in the future. But I'm going to go ahead and pick this guy real quick. Well, maybe not real quick. We hope real quick. So, because I've been working on the other project a whole bunch recently, I also know that I haven't got to work on picking this challenge lock that I know some of y'all were very excited about. I am hoping to get back to picking more in about a month-ish. I think I'll be done with the project. But if any of y'all are really chomping at the bit to pick this thing, let me know and I will send it to you, because I don't want it to just like be stuck sitting around my house forever. I do want to pick it, but I also don't plan on practicing with it anytime soon, and I do think I need to practice with it some. So if y'all are ready to pick that or want to mess with it, let me know and I'll send it to you, and maybe another day I'll give it another go. So the way I'm going to pick this is I'm using this ergo turner, this 40 thousandths ergo turner from Covert Instruments. I'm not even actually getting that in the keyway. I'm just like in the actual keyway on the inside. I'm just using it to hold open the shutter here and put tension on the shutter. And because the shutter is directly linked to the plug, I don't actually have to put tension directly on the plug. It may not be the best way to do it, because I'm guessing the shutter here is like, it's going to be a thinner metal. So like it would be easier to damage this than the actual plug. So it may not be ideal. Like it might be better if you can to try to push it a little further in and try to get it in that keyway too. But I'm just saying you don't necessarily need to. And then I'm going to use this deep hook from the Necessary 9 from Tool. And from what I've been playing with, the setup seems to be, working the best for me. I do find it awkward. I should be getting the lock and the vise just right. And holding the shutter, it shouldn't be that awkward, but maybe it's also because I haven't been practicing picking lately. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so I do find this awkward. That little shutter, like it shouldn't really have an effect, but I don't know. And I think some of it's just probably not practicing picking enough lately too. That's, one of those skills, use it or lose it. But yeah, that's a neat little lock right there. I did mess around. I was kind of curious would jiggler keys fit in it. They don't, which is good. considering how, often this will probably end up getting used or how many different places it'll end up getting used. But yeah, not too crazy hard to open there either. So I'm not sure why they chose this lock as far as using this one. I think the idea is that this one would be nationwide or something. I don't know. Random other video trivia that I'm not going to make a whole video on this, but I just thought this was interesting and would share it with y'all. So here's two master locks, okay? So these are ones that, well, this one my wife got me. This one I don't know where it came from. I don't remember. But if you look here, sort of at the bottom of this, you can sort of see how the shell here is the same color as the plug pretty much. It's that brass or bronze metal right there. Sort of like what you would expect to see. But on this one right here, you can see how it's actually kind of, I don't know, maybe you can tell it's kind of white looking, a little silver looking. And you might be able to see that in the back there too. That's not very bronze. It's actually much whiter looking, kind of like this right here. And it seems to be some kind of like, and you can even see it in the front right there too, actually. Right at the front, right there. That would probably be a very good spot to drill it. But anyways, you could probably knock everything out if you drilled it there. But I just mentioned it because it seems like this lock in general, like this whole casing is actually wrapped around a laminated lock that they've cut down thinner. It just looks like Master's trying to save a lot of money with this, trying to practice different ways to save money. I don't know if it's, lasts longer, if this is supposed to be more like corrosion resistant, but it definitely, there's a whole bunch of space between this. This is just a shell that sits over the actual laminated lock on the inside, if you can see that gap there. So I don't know what exactly is going on here, but it looks like they're doing lots of things to try to save money on it. Yeah, and it says boron carbon on the top. I don't know. All right, so what have I been working on lately that's taken on my time outside of work and family stuff? Is this sort of mess of wires right here. This is a mess. It's a work in progress for trying to make a non-invasive glucometer sensor so that you can measure your glucose levels without needing to prick your finger and draw blood. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a chemist, so I know very little about glucose. I'm just sort of taking what I've seen online as far as different IR LEDs and some photo transistors and running them into this Arduino, or this isn't an Arduino, this is a Feather M0 Add-a-Logger with a display. And I'm going to log it, and I'm making a Git repo. And the idea is to sort of work on developing a non-invasive sensor for glucose levels. And I've seen different papers from, I think they're mostly like research students that were doing stuff probably for their, I don't know, graduate research. But they were saying that yes, you can get some reliable values, but they're not 100% reliable. Things like medication play a role. So anyways, this is what I'm sort of playing with. I've got a Git repo. Maybe I'll put it in the description in case you're curious. If you're a software guy or an electronics guy, go check it out. Feel free to comment on my code or whatever. It's a work in progress for sure. And I'm kind of thinking, and I'm not sure yet, but what I'm thinking right now is I'm trying to write the repository so that this is something I might turn into a competition. So I might take this once I get whatever I have sort of working, and then just say, hey, here's a certain amount of a little money prize, if for people that can, whoever comes up with the best design, using, I'm thinking, this sort of framework and the basic framework I set up on GitLab. So there'll be some constraints, but basically you build the sensor and see which one is the competition for the most accurate one. I'm still dialing in the sort of values I want to use, and it's not going quite as smoothly as I had hoped. I thought it would be a little bit easier, looking at some of the ones other people have done, but mine were not coming out exactly the same. So that's also part of why I'm curious about messing with this and trying to share everything, because I would like to make things that are completely reproducible from a scientific research point of view. I want to make sure that whoever comes behind me and says, for better or worse, whatever I come up with, they can say, I know this either does work or doesn't work or works roughly this well, because I know every single part number they used. I know all their source code. I know the STL file for the finger clamp here. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I've sort of been obsessing over lately. And I'm hoping to sort of wrap up a working prototype by the end of the month is my goal. That's what I'm shooting for. And when I say working prototype, I don't mean like a super accurate like meter, but something more stable where I've got all my components soldered down to this proto board and everything sort of finalized and just gathering data to like optimize like sort of algorithms for processing it. So that's the plan. That's the work in progress lately. But yeah, I'll share that stuff and I'll share that stuff in the description. Once again, thank you, Jack Fox, for all the cool locks. I am definitely going to be working my way through these. There's a lot of cool locks in here that are very interesting. This one caught me off guard too at first. I didn't realize, like, oh, why aren't the screws there? Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing there's a control key, right? And that pulls it out. But it caught me off guard. And then this guy. What's that hole there for? I don't know. Why is there a screw hole there? I don't know. Lots of cool locks. Thank you very much, sir. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. Bye.